Kelsey.
Kelsey.
Yes, I know.
I've heard this page before.
Yes.
I don't know, maybe on Facebook or something.
It was probably Instagram.
You trade US30.
Yeah.
That's another.
Yeah.
You do mentorship.
Yeah.
For how much?
Alright, guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm a bit irritated because I'm recording this for the 150,000 million billion trillion time. I can't get it right, and I think it's because I'm new on YouTube. But I hope you guys are going to guide me through it. Welcome to everyone who has tuned in. This is yet another video. One that is obviously going to benefit you to the best of your ability. That sentence might be a bit messed up, but we're not going to care about sentence constructions right now. Anyway, guys, welcome. Thank you so much for everyone who did subscribe to my channel. We are only a day old. We should have had a cake actually, and we just hit 1,000 subscribers. So thank you for everyone that is actually supporting this, right? And to everyone else that did watch the video, the first one, I saw that most of you did take your time to watch it from start to end. Thank you so much. Thank you for also liking. I would appreciate it if I'd actually get comments on every single video that I post. Remember, this is me interacting with all of you, so the only way we can honestly make this work is if I post something and you comment, right? I have obviously built this platform to share all videos that I think are going to be of importance, you know, in terms of enlightening you a bit more, highlighting all these things that your mentors have forgotten to tell you about. You know, some mentors don't know them, so that's fine. I think I'm going to add the drum roll here. And others are basically just things that I've picked up by myself. You know, everyone does know that I'm actually a chart addict, and it so happens that I pick up all these small things that so happen to change my life once in a while. So welcome everyone. Please don't forget to like, subscribe. I'm not too sure how to say it. I think the other term is don't forget to switch on the notification button, just so that you can stay updated with all the videos that I'm going to post. But I don't know if I'm getting it right, so all I'm going to say is just make sure you're here, right? When I upload, be here, watch, comment, let's have fun. Those comments are so important because I will know what video to put together based on the comments. I don't want to record things that people are not going to watch and learn from. So if you actually tell me what you want or what you don't understand, I can always create a video for you. So today I will be speaking about US30 life hack. Guys, it's so crazy. I've spent so much time trying to understand US30. So everyone that does know me knows how much effort I actually put into understanding the ins and outs of every little thing on this chart, you know, and I can confidently say I have found something that is going to make sense for us. So please watch this video from start to end. Comment if you don't understand. I'm going to make sure that I create another video that's going to help you understand. US30 life hack. First thing that is very important is understanding what the hell US30 is. So I also want to put emphasis on this, guys. Make sure that you understand it on your broker, right? I know there's people who've said I can't find US30 on my broker, or rather other people say MT4. Different service providers for different brokers have different names. It's basically like MTN, Vodacom, Cell C, you know. If it's written US30 on this broker, it might possibly just be written as Dow Jones on another broker. So do understand that my broker, it's written Dow Jones, on yours it might be US30. Don't confuse yourself and say, no, I don't have it. We all have it, right? Different service providers for different brokers will obviously term things very different, you know. So this is basically like MTN, Vodacom, and Cell C. All these brokers have their own service providers that give them these things to give you to trade, you know. So different terminologies on every single broker. First question is, what is US30, right? I've heard a lot of people say it's an index, others say index. See where you find it under the different categories on your brokers, you know, that page where you basically find all these trades. But I would love to confidently say this is an index. I know that US30 is basically 30 companies, right, that are measured every single day based on performance, and whatever results we get from that are the ones that are actually going to make the market volatile, basically give us a sense of direction. You know, some of those companies are triple M. We know we've got Johnson & Johnson, we've got Honeywell, we've got Apple, and we've got American Express. Guys, the only way it becomes super exciting for you to trade what you're trading is when you know what it is, where it comes from, and then you will obviously have confidence in how to approach it. So like I said, I know it as an index simply because I found it under my index column, and it's made out of 30 largest companies, you know, that we basically find on the New York stock market. These are basically companies that are measured via performance, and this performance is what gives us a trend. And is US 30 Dow Jones? Is it DJ 30? Yes, just termed it differently on different brokers. And I know that, remember guys, this is a price weighted stock market index. Results of measured performance of the 30 largest publicly owned companies listed on the NYSE. So now I would also want to understand, what is a public company, a public owned company, right? I know based on my understanding, without me having to read my notes, that a public company is basically one that is run on shares. So it's like the Johannesburg Stock Exchange. These shares are given out to the public to buy and basically trade. So on my notes it says companies whose ownership is organized via shares of stock, which are intended to be freely traded on the stock exchange. My English was slightly broken, but honestly it's the same thing, right? And then my life hack on US 30 is, guys, US 30 moves with AUDUSD. I know you're not going to believe me. I know a lot of people are actually going to argue this, but I've tested it so many times, and I will definitely back it up by dropping a lot of screenshots to show you how I picked it up. This is something that basically happened overnight, in terms of me having to conclude, you know what, this is definitely one that is moving with AUDUSD. So I have mastered this in actually putting AUDUSD first and then later trying to understand what US 30 is. I know that AUDUSD is a very volatile pair also, simply because it falls under one of the major pairs, right? AUDUSD, we have AUD as our base currency, and then we have USD as our supporting currency. I know it sounds like very basic beginner's knowledge, but trust me, it's so important to understand this in order for you to be able to crack US 30. Now let's go back to the statement of me saying this thing actually moves with US 30. Unbelievable, guys. But I promise you, every single candle, or rather direction we get on AUDUSD, whatever it does gives me confidence in going to execute on US 30, right? But I know the most important question would be how. What do I look at? Is it on big time frames? Is it on small time frames? Let me tell you this. Sorry, I've made notes just so that I don't miss out on anything that I have to cover. Like I said, understanding AUDUSD is very crucial, right? When is AUDUSD most volatile? When do I trade it? When do I avoid it? When does it actually give me those crazy profitable trends? When do I know this is actually a very bad time to step in? Is AUDUSD a bit more, like, do people prefer to trade it on small time frames? Do others prefer big time frames? So there's obviously a lot of questions that one needs to understand. Guys, you don't just wake up and decide, I'm gonna trade AUDUSD. What is AUDUSD? When is it most volatile? You know, what trading times can we trade it on? When do I step in? When do I not step in? What kind of strategy do I use for this? I promise you, if you can understand the core of what it is, you will go far. So theoretically, we know that AUDUSD can be traded 24/7. So when I say 24/7, guys, I'm not speaking about weekends. I know, especially with our South African brokers, in fact all brokers, honestly, you cannot trade over the weekend. In fact, I like to term it as, this is when the market actually takes a breather, right? It runs for 24/7 every single day. Weekends are well deserved for the market to take a breather. Imagine how many times this thing would actually crash if it didn't actually take a breather. You know, I actually respect it so much. I actually think of it as a human body. There's so much that you can do. Too much of something is bad, and too much of something is bad. Well, same thing. But anyway, theoretically, AUDUSD can be traded 24/7, right? But here are the prime times of when you can have an idea of when exactly you need to execute. So when I speak of prime times, guys, you can't wake up at 4 p.m. and decide, oh, I see the trade is possibly going to go up, I'm going to execute. No, you need to understand what time zone am I playing in, right? Because remember, this is something that I've put a lot of emphasis on when I speak to most of my students. Every opening session doesn't just open as a trend. You know, the market will literally find its feet for around about an hour. So when I wake up at 4 p.m., I need to first understand what time zone is this? Do I have to wait for an hour? Or is this time zone about to close? Is it time to actually trade this thing? No, let me step out. Because even the last hour of the closing of a time zone is very, very, very dangerous to trade. And this is where we actually get consolidations. Other people actually term it as the market ranging. First hour, we stay away. Last hour, we stay away. But like I say, understanding what prime times this thing falls under. So the first one is the Tokyo session. We know we can find it under Tokyo, London, and New York. Guys, it sounds like basic knowledge, but I promise it's so important. Because sometimes we wake up, we trade, and we're like, the market wasn't good today. Bro, the market was very good for all of us. It's just that you traded at the wrong time. And remember, if you're trying to be good at something, timing is very, very, very important. So like I said, we're going to be looking at Tokyo, we're going to be looking at London, and the New York session. So I want you to think of it like this, right? London, Tokyo, New York, Australian, all these Asian sessions and etc. I technically think of it like wheels. Okay, some of these time zones actually open whilst the other one is actually running. For example, let me read this out. We have Tokyo, which opens at, and guys, I'm gonna drop here, right? I don't know if it's gonna be here. I'm new, so I don't know how to even edit this thing, but I'm gonna give you guys links, especially for my South African people. You know, everyone that is not obviously in America, in Asia. I know I do have some clients from there, but you'd obviously have to use something like babypips.com, you know. But if you are in Johannesburg, if you're in South Africa, if you are in Malawi, if you are in other places that are very close to where I am, this is the website that you're gonna have to use to try and get real South African time. You know, I'm based in Joburg, so usually I align these settings to Johannesburg. So like I said, this is obviously based on my Johannesburg times. When we speak of Tokyo, it opens from 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. So 11 p.m. is literally an hour right before midnight, and it closes at 7 a.m. We also have the London session that opens at 7 a.m. So technically, this London session opens exactly when the Tokyo session closes. You see, this wheel is literally running into each other. So that is from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. And then we have the New York session that opens at 12 p.m. to 8 p.m. Now let's speak about this New York session and the London session. If London opens at 7 a.m. and closes at 3 p.m. and New York opens at 12 p.m. and closes at 8 p.m. basically means that in the midst of London running, New York already basically wheels in. Does it make sense? Tell me what you think in the comment box. But anyway, so these are the prime times that I know that AUDUSD falls under. So guys, Tokyo, London, New York. I want to focus so much on these times. Okay, different brokers have different service providers based on what quotes they're offering you. I'm saying this because everyone knows that I obviously see Order Broker. So I also had a lot of options to choose from, you know, different service providers, either for CRM or for MT4 or for MT5. So like I'm saying, at times I'd see that I use Capital 360, right? So at certain times I'd see that, okay, cool, this one just opened, US30 is running, but on another broker it actually looks a bit stagnant. You know, I'd see that on other brokers you'd actually have to wait for like 2 a.m. before it starts kicking. So understand your broker. The simplest one for me is Capital 360. Now why? Obviously because I have a relationship with my broker, and there's a lot of things that when I don't understand, I'm able to go to the office or call my account manager to try and understand, guys, what's happening with this pay? Why is it not moving? And in most cases, because they're obviously well educated to even explain this to me, they tell me, Kelsey, it's because it opens at this time, not that time, you know. So I'm able to know that, oh, okay, tomorrow I'm not waking up at midnight. I'll actually wake up at 1 a.m. because this is when it's actually going to start running. But I hope you guys get the idea. So like I said, theoretically, we're going to say AUDUSD is traded 24/7. Now we understand, or rather have a bit of insight on what AUDUSD is and the best times. Guys, keep this in mind. Every opening time, when it opens, please don't trade the first hour. Why am I saying that? That is a result of a consolidation. Every pair that opens will always result in a consolidation, and I like to term it as it's still finding its feet. You don't just wake up from your bed and start running around and making food. You wake up, you yawn, you roll around, you open your Instagram, which is very bad, by the way. But I'm just saying, your body takes time to wake up, you know, before you can actually be energized to even take a shower, etc. So treat this as something very similar. AUDUSD first hour, I just watch this thing, you know. Last hour being the last hour of that time zone, I will again make sure that I'm out of the market, because the last thing you want is a spiking market or one that is just ranging or consolidating and it does not even make sense for you. So understand that. And then we come to the baby, US30. Very, 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 very volatile. There's three things that I usually keep in mind when I'm trading US30. The first one is my trading account balance. Trading account balance is very important, considering that we know how volatile this thing is. You might place a trade and actually be kicked out 2 seconds later. You might place a trade, be kicked out 5 seconds later. But to be kicked out, you'll be kicked out when you don't know what you're doing, right? But what I always keep in mind is, what is my trading balance? And how is my broker supporting my trading balance? And I speak in confidence about this because I know Capital 360 actually has that bonus that allows a drawdown. Remember that bonus that we all know of, where you'd actually go on a minus and there's actually money that is being borrowed to you? That is exactly what they have. So if my trade goes otherwise, I know I still have my bonus to back me up. So like I'm saying, first thing I'll always keep in mind is my trading account balance. The second one is risk appetite. Not everyone knows how. Guys, I've got the wildest appetite ever. So when I say risk appetite, how much of this account am I willing to use? So we're basically going back to risk management. Am I only willing to use 10%, lose 10% of this account? Am I willing to lose the whole account? Am I willing to only lose 30%? Understand how much of the account you are willing to lose. And I'm saying this because honestly, me, every time I trade, I go in with the mentality of, if I lose, I will be okay. So this is me basically scratching out depression, right? Because I know how messed up it gets when you place those trades and it just kicks you out. So understand your risk appetite. How much of this account am I willing to lose? And then secondly, what is my broker's stop out margin? Right? What's that percentage that I know when it hits this, they're definitely going to kick me out? That's very important to know, because guys, honestly, sometimes when you see that trend is moving against you, you can always save yourself from saying, okay, shucks, I'm about to hit 40%. Let me quickly actually start closing a few trades before this broker even decides to do it manually or automatically, or whatever we can say, for themselves, or rather for me. And then the third thing is understanding my target for the day. US30 is very volatile, can pay you well when you have a strategy that works, right? So that basically means, if I am thinking of US30 and I say my minimum balance is 2,000 rands to start trading, and I've got my 30% from Capital 360, I can actually plan to make a K a day. And guys, everyone that also knows me knows how much I've got these realistic targets, simply because I'd rather trade small and have something locked at the end of every day, and also have something at the end of the month that is actually visible. You know, when we're speaking of 30K, I'm not speaking of 30K in a day, but I'm speaking of 30K in 20 days, 20 working days. And that is technically a K a day, right? Or rather 1,005. Sorry guys, I'm very smart on forex, but my maths is really bad. But I think it's 1,500 rands every single day. 1,500 rands on US30 is literally 2 candlesticks, right? If that's the case, if I say I'm aiming for 1,005 each day, that's 1,005 each day. After that, the 1,005, I lock. At the end of the week, I'm sitting with something above 5k, right? So if this happens for 4 weeks, I know we can get something like 30, if not slightly above. So for me, that is consistent, because even so, I don't stress about how much I might possibly blow, because if I've built 5k over 5 days, on the 6th day, if it actually does go down a bit, as in I blow, no, not blow, but you know when you actually go on minuses, that means I'm willing to lose a certain percentage of that, but I'm working with 5k. So as your account grows, you need to understand that, hey, I've got 5k. Of every growth, I'm only willing to lose 10% or 20% or 30%. Have a very directional structure, you know, that's going to help you reach those targets every single day. And I've also gotten a lot of people debate targets. I mean, I've seen crazy comments of saying, nah, she's talking nonsense, you can't have targets. If you don't have targets, what do you have then? Are you one that randomly wakes up and just executes the markets? Do you have that great bank statement at every month? Because guys, remember, when you trade, think about your banking statement. We don't have jobs. We're building our credit scores off of this, you know, and that means off of that bank statement that has that payment every single day of this certain, every single day of, let's say the 26th of every month, I'm able to go buy that iPhone or that car. That is going to help me build my credit score. So daily trading, does it work? Yes, it does work. Those withdrawals daily make you look famous, but does it work in your favor? No. Okay, and then we cut. But anyway, let me show you on my screen what I meant when I said AUDUSD actually works with US30. Guys, US30 actually follows AUDUSD. Technically, both these things have the USD in them, so they're definitely going to have the same direction somewhat, you know. But I'm saying to you, US30 follows AUDUSD. When do I best trade this? Guys, from 1 a.m. to 5 a.m. this is my trading time, right? Let's in fact find, this is actually my Tokyo session from 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. So I know from 1 a.m. meaning if this session opens at 11 p.m. being the Tokyo, I don't trade at 11. Am I trading mismatch at 0.00000? No, sometimes I'm not, honestly, because why, the market is actually introducing a new day. So I'd wait for around about 1 a.m. At 1 a.m. I execute, right? I only trade with at least a minimum of 1,500 rands. Sometimes when I'm feeling like a big girl, I actually push to 500 rands. Does it make sense? Okay, cool. And then I push it to 5 a.m. That means I've been awake for 5 hours. My body on the 6th hour would have probably crashed. But also because the Tokyo session closes at 7 a.m. Remember what I said? I close an hour before the actual closing time, because I know at that time we are yet to introduce a new session, so the market is most likely to consolidate. Does it make sense? Cool. So like I said, my best trading sessions is every single day at 1 a.m. to 5 a.m. I'm trading US30, and then I try again to trade US30 around about 12 p.m. Why? That's a new session, right? In fact, that is the New York session that opens from 12 to 8 p.m. And what I've actually realized is from 12 p.m. the market actually changes structure. So if I was buying in the morning, round about 12 o'clock, I'm actually going to look for selling signs, because there's a difference in every time there's a new session, there will always be a different trend. And this is how we actually have these pullbacks that are introduced onto the market. You know, when the market breathes, it's because there's a new session that comes in. So I'm basically saying I'm trading that new session that has come in. But let's all try and make sense of it on the chart.